Hello, happiness abounder, and welcome back. Today I want to talk about a subject that I think we all know about, I think we all have some understanding of, but we don't necessarily act on. So as we continue this theme week all about the curse of judgment, today I want to talk about judging yourself, specifically negative self-talk. It is so incredibly easy, an emphasis on easy, to let yourself talk yourself down. For example, if you had a friend that you were speaking to and they said, I just feel like I'm dropping everything. Everything's a mess right now. I'm dropping the ball and I'm just the worst. You would say to them, no, like everything's fine. You're not dropping the ball. You're trying. You only know what you know. And everything's not the worst. It's just a rough patch. And you have the tools and the expertise to be able to work through this. Right? You would be a supportive friend. But how many times have we said those same things to ourselves and agreed with them? Truthfully, in the last 5 days, let's even cut back to the last day, yesterday. Think back through any time that you may have beat yourself up, and did you agree with it? Did you accept that negative self-talk and personal judgment, or did you fight back? Now, if you've been listening to this show for a while, I hope that you fought back with combat declarations. And if you don't know what those are, I teach a class on declarations, and you can access it online at happinessabound.com. But that said, if you are not combating those negative sentences, that negative self-talk, and that personal judgment that you are placing on yourself, you're just letting it go. And we all know that not taking action is a choice. So by not taking action against it, you are choosing to accept that negative judgment of yourself. And I think we all have an understanding that, yeah, we talk poorly to ourselves. We all have an understanding that we should probably change that. But then we don't. We just beat ourselves up because it's so commonplace and such a habit in our brain now that we accept it as truth. And the way we talk to ourselves makes all the difference. So I'm going to get really raw with you here and share some of the negative self-talk that I have been saying as of yesterday. And I want to share this because a couple of reasons. One, I think that there's one of you out there, this is for you. Two, I talk about happiness every day. I know combat declarations, and I am certified to mentor people to be happier. That doesn't change the fact that I am a human, and for the first 27, 28, 29 years of my life, I've been doing this for about 2, right? So the first 29 years of my life, I would speak negatively to myself. So it's a hard habit to break. But I want to share with you some of the negative self-talk I have been having lately and some of the things that I do to work through it. Because I don't want to be cursed by my own personal judgment. I don't want to bring myself down. It's really hard to battle yourself. So, a few things. I have really been struggling as of late in balancing a lot of the workload that I have put on myself. As many of you know, I have a day job. I mentor individuals. I teach monthly training classes. I do this daily podcast. And today is the 24th of July, so I am 24 days into a 75 hard challenge, which means I am 24 days into working out for an hour and a half total a day. I am reading 10 pages, actively reading 10 pages of a personal development book every day. On top of that, I have also signed up for a year-long business course, and the homework is every day. So, When days like yesterday happen, where it feels like nothing is going right, I don't have the time to do it all, and I don't have the emotional capacity to be there for every single person that needs me, that's when the negative self-talk hits. I love my life. I love all the things that I have chosen, and I don't believe I've bitten off more than I can chew. I believe that I just had a bad day yesterday, but I compounded it. I made it worse by telling myself that I wasn't good enough. Everything feels like it's falling apart because I just am worthless and now everyone's going to see it. The imposter syndrome, right? I kept on telling myself that everything was crashing around me and it was unfixable, and if it was fixable, I wasn't the person to fix it because I didn't know how. I then decided to tell myself that I was selfish for doing all this 75 hard stuff because everyone is relying on me and I'm letting everyone down. And that's just a small snippet of some of the negative things I was telling myself as early as yesterday. Now, I utilized some combat declarations. I pulled back and had a full understanding of these things aren't true, so I don't have to accept them even if I'm telling them to myself. Then I also expressed them to my husband, and he was like, you know that's not true. And I'm like, I know. But negative self-talk is something that comes at all of us, myself included. But that negative self-talk is judging yourself. I was judging myself because I didn't know the right steps to take because I've never been in this situation before. I was judging myself that I was letting people down because I just felt busy and overwhelmed by the to-do list of things I need to do each day. That just means I can be more organized. That means I can set better boundaries. It doesn't mean I'm letting people down. Right? There's so much truth in looking at what we say to ourselves and seeing a different perspective, instead of accepting the negative self-talk and the personal judgment. And it is a curse. If I took what I said yesterday and crossed it over into today and into the next day and into the next day, into the next day, what do you think would happen? Suddenly I would have no confidence in my job. I would give up 75 hard three weeks ago, and I would trash all my relationships because I'd become so codependent because obviously I'm not good enough for anybody and I'm letting everyone down, so I need to give them 110%. I wouldn't focus on myself. I wouldn't be able to be as clear-minded enough to be able to talk about this kind of stuff on the podcast. I would probably drop the podcast because I would feel like I'm letting everyone down and no one's listening, so just time to stop. Like, I can totally see how this negative self-talk can impact my own life and my own goals and my own dreams. Now, this is my story of negative self-talk, but I want to go back to look at what you said to yourself yesterday. Did you mention to yourself that maybe you're a bad mom? Did you mention to yourself you could be a better wife, better dog owner? I have that sometimes. I'm like, oh, I should be doing so much more with my dogs. And then I'm like, no, they love me and I love them and they get exercise and they're fed well and they get played with. Like, they're good. But it's so interesting to see the areas of our lives that we judge ourselves in. And so, I will talk about the flip side of that, of how to fully work through judging yourself tomorrow, specifically talking about having grace for yourself and for others. But today, I just want you to be thinking about how you talk to yourself and whether or not you accept that or you take action against it so you can keep on moving forward and be ultimately happier. So that said, thanks for listening today. Thanks for allowing me to be vulnerable with you and share that I struggle with this too. And above everything else, remember, you are capable of happiness abound.